I was just in this tavern, and a man came with facts, telling me about America and its history with tax. I was bored, but I'll tell you what I know. Those fake French diplomats made our country start to shuffle. The XYZ affairs started a quasi-kerfuffle. Jefferson was elected, and he knew he wanted peace. A piece of land, so he made the Louisiana Purchase for 15,000 grand. France stood in their way of expanding in our land, so we started to wage war, a war of 1812. America got nationalism and a new sense of self. The Whigs loved war, the Democratic Republicans said, now we have debt and the economy is meh. America, yippee-ki-yay. Panic of 1819, Panic of 1819, economic democracy. They gave out too many loans they couldn't pay back. Most states said then they didn't have to pay back what they lacked. Henry Clay had a dream of an American system, which consisted of railways, bridges, buildings, like factories, basically like the Industrial Revolution of America. And canals were there too, such as the Erie Canal, steel trade from Philly, sorry Philly. The economy was bustling, cause America started hustling. Jackson later started ruining it with tariffs and stuff. Boy, Democrats sucked. They didn't like factories, they liked agriculture, slavery and stuff. Slavery was an issue, folks up north said it was misuse, but the economy depended on it, and it was what the South used. America, yeehaw. Slavery, booze, religion and women, social democracy. During the market revolution, religion was forgotten. Then the Second Great Awakening came, didn't like what has been taught. Christians said all were equal, yet they saw white men on top. They said all this injustice had to stop. Alvin Beecher was a preacher, spread these thoughts across the Erie Canal. His daughter spread more thoughts of equality in her book Uncle Tom's Cabin. Nat Turner staged a revolt, which failed its happened all before, but the spread of awareness was its biggest score. Both women's suffrage and abolitionism got more groups, declarations of sentiments for both of these issues. The Supreme Court ruled with the Revolt and Law Armistead. Socially, the direction we moved weren't half bad. These movements made a lot of progress, made people think. It wasn't till way later, till changes began to sink. Christians want temperance, formed groups based on that. They said demons were in the booze and they weren't gonna have it. Oh, Andrew Jackson, how he sucked. Want to get Indians out of America, specifically Georgia and stuff. They didn't want to go. John Marshall ruled Andrew Jackson, I don't think so. Jackson didn't give a blank, rooted the natives west, didn't care what people think. The Trail of Tears was a huge struggle. God, Jackson sucks, no rhyme, just don't like that dude. America, yippee-ki-yay, I love whiskey. Jefferson, Jackson, John Marshall, James Madison, Monroe. So many J's and JM's. The Federalist Party died, but the Whigs were basically the same thing. Supported the rich and trade, manufacturing, their opinions are too complicated to sing. Democrats like agriculture, slavery and stuff. Have I mentioned before that they kinda sucked? Well, the Whigs loved war. Well, let's not debate. Jefferson is Democrat. Jeez, I'm starting this part way too late. This is a lot to cover. Come on, Miss I. Making a Louisiana Purchase pissed off a bunch of guys. Henry Clay influenced Madison, implemented the American system. Government controlled the money and state versus national issues started to begin. Marshall fixed those quickly. To him the Constitution made it clear that the government trumped the state on all the court cases these years. Gibbons versus Owens, government-controlled interstate trade. McCulloch versus Maryland, the bank's not a thing that can be taxed by state. According to Madison v. Madbury, judicial review is supreme. The court can strike down on constitutional law or anything they deem. Oh, Jackson really sucks. Answer really does. Jackson really sucks. Jackson really sucks. He had some media campaigning, called himself the people's president. Then he called Popular Democracy into the most popular party all his policies went. He listened to the Democrats, stopped some modern trade, hated the Whigs, treated them like kids, put tariffs on South Carolina, refused their threats of nullification, attacked his vice president, didn't do much, made the Whigs really hate Jackson. He released the Indian Removal Act, refused the Supreme Court. I hate him so much. Like, it caused most of the terrible things, in my opinion, surviving today. Like the huge divide between the parties and policies, I feel like I was all started by his Popular Democracy. He sucks so much. Did I mention foreign policy? Did I mention Monroe? Specifically the doctrine named after Monroe. Spain lost their colonies, they're probably gonna get it back. So to protect their new independent buddies, America threatened to attack. If Europe didn't permanently leave, forever leave this land. That's why you don't see Europe ever ruling anywhere near here again. Lastly, the Missouri Compromise went down in Missouri. They wanted to enter as a slave state, didn't turn out too pretty. We had 22 states, slave states were half. Missouri wanted to be one, America wasn't sure if they could handle that. Missouri got pissed, threatened to go independent, made their own rules and stuff, and South versus North became more apparent. America, whiskey and tractors, hee-haw. Well, that's it, that's what the man at the tavern said. He passed out right after, God, maybe he was dead. He was really old, he really hated Jackson, wasn't sure if he was alive at that time, but either way, this is the end. Bye. Oh, I think he just moved. Oh, wait, nah, he's dead, yeah.